And then on the other side, there's obviously On Purpose by Jay Shetty.
Buffetti, that's actually a very dope podcast. It's the #1 health
Wealth
podcast.
Wealth,
the number
health,
one
and health. What?
health and wellness
Health and wellness
podcast in the world.
That's what he says in the beginning of every video.
Yep.
This man preaches meditation and still has time to self-promote. I don't think you should wear my Gucci sunglasses. You should maintain a standard.
Yeah, let's maintain. Who's maintaining? Me or you?
Both. You know your lane, I know mine.
So slay in your lane, technically.
Yeah.
Buffet, to welcome to the first episode. Yeah. It's not that serious.
Ooh,
This is definitely not that serious. This is a space where we discuss anything and everything, if you can think about it.
Hello, my name is Boity. I've got 18.1 followers on TikTok, but I don't let that define me because I know that I'm worth more than numbers. Life means nothing, but it means everything, and I realized that last year. Thank you. It's how I live.
Let's unpack it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so in life, I believe that nothing matters. And if you approach life with that nothing matters, you kind of expose yourself to a bigger kind of way of thinking because you're not too focused on limiting yourself. You're more focused on just living your life, and whatever comes, and what's meant for you will come. So that's how I live my life. I don't stress, because if I stress, am I going to get into heaven faster?
If you kill yourself, you might, but that is a sin.
I think that I always say I'm not really into the religious stuff, but if I'm good and I'm a good person in life and God still sends me to hell, then he's probably not the God that I want to be worshipping in the first place.
But you are good by whose standards? Because religion is the one that sets, it distinguishes between good and bad.
It should be, but it's not. Most times it's actually the source of a lot of evil, because people come from a place of power because they feel closer to God, and in the end they oppress other people. Back in the day, people couldn't read, and so they took advantage of that, and it just keeps going on. The Pope doesn't care about you. He cares about his status. He just doesn't know it because he thinks that he's special.
Fact.
But yeah, religion.
Most of the standards, our measure for what's good and what's bad, is, like I said, defined by religion.
For you, for me, good is approaching things with good intent. So if I do something bad to you, it shouldn't come from a place of jealousy and darkness. If something bad happens from my side, it should come from good intent. I wasn't trying to hurt you. You're not the worst person in my life. I'm not trying to do revenge.
But do you realize how many people we hurt with your nasty attitude sometimes?
Well, did they come to me to try and tell me? Because also, it's like, I can only be so good. I'm still human. Jesus was out here beating people outside of his church, and I can't tell you guys your business. I'm sorry. That's not fair. It must be balance.
Yeah.
Just to remind y'all that I'm human. Because if I'm perfect, then I'm faking it.
Ooh,
Shut up.
So what you're suggesting is that there's no perfection.
There's no such thing.
But we thrive to get as close as we can to perfection.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Like even on TikTok, my therapist TikTok, they actually say that perfectionism is a symptom or a trauma response to trauma. So nobody is born wanting to be perfect. It's a result of social conditioning. It's of wanting to be in a status or societal position that makes you look better.
Yeah.
Nobody who lived alone wanted to be perfect.
Fact.
Yeah.
I'm actually internalizing this thing, and I'm just realizing the depth of it, because most of us, we are suffering from the traumatic experience of not being taken serious,
neglected for life.
Hey, dog. And there's always been standards that we kind of felt like we couldn't live up to, so when you get the slightest opportunity to showcase how smart you can be, you want to try and push for perfection.
Exactly.
And that is, don't you think that is the reason why most of the people kind of like creep into like depression.
I was about to say, mental illness is a result of just striving for things that don't exist. I mean, beyond the whole chemical imbalance, trauma, whatever. But sometimes it's literally us not accepting and being content with our reality and our true selves. And so we keep projecting, we keep on doing these negative responses because we just don't know what to do. And then boom, clap. You're sad. You're alone. Nobody loves you because you suck.
And on the other hand, TikTok is winning from other people's originality, because I feel like that's the only reason why TikTok is winning.
TikTok is profiting off our depression and our individuality. Yeah.
And we live in a society where people are kind of like slowly but surely realizing the importance of being like authentic to thyself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I said, nothing matters. Once you know that, you won't be pretending for anyone. I mean, I'm at work in sweats. I'm at work in sweats. Get to work in sweats.
I'm at work
and I'm
in
happy.
Shorts, dog.
And
I'm chilling.
Exactly. And I honestly expect anyone to walk in here to take me as seriously as if I was wearing a dress, because my work speaks for itself.
But is that always the case though? Like, do you think people judge you based on how you look, the clothes you wear, you know, sometimes the car you drive even? Do people actually take that as something they can use as a metric to judge how much a person knows or how valuable a person is?
Definitely. Like, even beyond like brands and money and whatever, people will just judge you because your shirt is a certain color. They'll think, oh, depressed, she's always wearing black, you know, I don't like people like that around me. Or they'll be like, oh, this person is always wearing their hair like this, or they're wearing their socks like this. Like, they'll be judging you just like this, but not because they have to, but because they're like, you know what, I feel like people tear me down. Let me see if I can project that onto another person and make myself feel better, because at least I'm more aware of it. So they feel good because they're aware of your flaws, because they're scared other people will be aware of theirs. Yeah.
Hectic life things, but fit. And like spanning no name. Just to close it off, because we have to get back to doing what we get paid to do.
We got
Boity,
paid.
yeah. Boity, like, what helped you kind of like reach that level of thought about yourself and just the general society?
A lot of my self-direction and self-awareness was birthed by pure depression and sadness. Once you get to a point where you're like, actually, why am I letting this consume me, and kind of diving into that, then you're like, nothing matters. It's okay. And people think because nothing matters I should be sad. Nothing matters, and that makes me happy. Saying that nothing matters doesn't mean I don't care. It just means that I'm not gonna let the world affect me too hard. Yeah. Also, this chocolate thing was fire. Get a chocolate croissant today.
Please. Please, anyway, plug.
It is. It slaps. Oh.
Mandisa doesn't like it at all. Though. Even the first time she did it.
Mandisa has standards. I just have a stomach. Not you holding the fork like that. It's giving violence.
Vibes. B, do you have any podcasts or any books that you're currently reading and listening to that shaping the way you see the world?
I wouldn't say they're shaping. I think they're just agreeing with what I already believe, and that makes me feel good. Like, I actually listened to Anything Goes by Emma Chamberlain. Nothing serious, nothing hectic, just someone who goes through a lot, and I can be like, okay, cool, we're both not mentally stable, and that makes me feel good. And then on the other side, there's obviously On Purpose by Jay Shetty.
That's actually a very dope podcast. It's the #1 health
Wealth
podcast.
Wealth,
the number one
and health. What?
Health and wellness.
Health and wellness
Podcast in the world.
That's what he says in the beginning of every video.
Yep.
This man preaches meditation and still has time to self-promote.
He's deep, right?
Shout out Jay Shetty.
Thank you so much for the counter-intuitive advice to a healthy approach. We really appreciate that. I listen to you every time I go to work. But not every time, but sometimes, but most of the time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, most of the time. So yeah, I mean, that is it from me for the first session. Yeah, it's not that serious.
It's not.
It's just us sharing a laughter.
Yeah.
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 Don't think about it too much.
Just texting. Yeah. See you, my boy.